Okay, we're going to take a look at graphing some exponential functions and noticing some patterns when we're given an exponential. So up here in pink, I wrote the general form for an exponential function. And you're going to know something is exponential when the x, the variable, is in the exponent. And we've got a couple of things to notice. Whatever this b value is, the base of the exponent, that is called our growth factor. So if that b value is greater than 1, that means that our curve is growing. The a value is our y-intercept, or our starting amount. Okay, so if we look at these four equations, notice that all we're really seeing is b to the x power. B to the x power. We're not really seeing any number in front of that. When that happens, what that means is that that number is a 1. So if you look at all of these graphs, you should notice that all of these graphs hit the y-axis at 1. That's the y-intercept. So that leading coefficient of 1 is not really going to be able to tell us which graph goes where. So the next thing we do is we look at these b values. And I notice that 2 of the b values are greater than 1, 3 to the x and 5 to the x. So that means that these two graphs are both going to be growing or increasing. And the next two, the b value is less than 1, so that means they are decaying or decreasing. And when we look at a graph, we read it from left to right. So as our eyes move across a graph from left to right, so in this case, from left to right, it's decaying, it's going downhill. This one is increasing. This one here is increasing, and this one here is decaying. Okay? So the next step is we have to try to interpret which of these would go with what scenario. Okay? So what we're going to do is we'll do this easy one first. So we know it hits right here at 0, 1. That means when x is 0, the output is 1. So we learn that 3 to the 0th power is 1, 5 to the 0th power is 1. So neither one of those, that point does not tell us which of these graphs it fits. So we're going to go along here until it hits the next clear intersection. And notice that right here, we have the point 1, 5. That means when x is 1, the y value is 5. So it's going to have to be this equation, because when x is 1, 5 to the first power equals 5. So then down here, this one is going to have to be g of x, 3 to the x power, because we can see that right here it goes through the point 1, 3. So that means this is going to be 3 to the x power. Okay. Now we have to decide which of these go where. So each of these are decaying because the growth factor is 1/3 or 1/5. And we're going to do the same thing looking backwards. If we go back here, we notice that this is at -1, 3. So that means if we do 1/3 to the negative first power, a negative exponent means we have to flip this, and it becomes 3/1, which is right there. This graph, if we go backwards, we see it goes through the point -1, 5. So this is going to be the graph 1/5 to the x power.